Animaniacs 2020, Season 1, Episode 13. The final episode of this season.
Dun, dun, dun.
And there's definitely a season 2.
Yep.
Woo.
It was confirmed, like, when they, so if you even look at the thing, it's a 2-season contract. So we're at least getting one more season of it.
Nice.
And hopefully they'll be able to be doing it closer to air date, so the jokes aren't all dated. We need some nice virgin jokes, damn it.
What? What's wrong? Don't you like
Hoary
dated
jokes?
jokes?
No, because then I feel like the third wheel.
But
So the first one, Hindenburg Cola, kind of had a blue flu ring to it.
Huh?
Oh,
Blue-
yes, with the Discord.
With Discord, how? I mean, there's an obvious Discord reference. How could I not make it?
A little glass of cola, please.
Exactly.
Hindenburg Cola.
A little glass of soda, please.
And the return of Niels Nidart.
Yes.
That's his name. I keep forgetting.
Well, I'm looking at the wiki so I don't forget.
Oh, okay.
Little bubbles.
I just listed him as that Greek Games guy with the hot pink hot pants.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was wearing hot pink pants that were on fire.
It
with the
has
little pitchfork in the middle.
It has little bubbles.
I mean, I liked this episode overall. It had some nice classic feel to it.
Yeah, this was very much a Warner cartoon. Yes.
Yeah.
You could swap.
Complete with all of the physical gags where you have to actually be watching the episode in order to get it, like the very beginning where they stop inside the picture of themselves and then 3D-ify themselves. And at least now we know what happened to Nurse Hello Nurse. She joined Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah.
I should have enjoyed Doctors Without Borders with Hello Nurse. I know that's more rough, but funny enough, I have a lot of German blood, but I can't do a German accent very well.
Yeah, I feel you there.
Yeah, I mean, this was so classic Warner sort of situation where if you replace the Warners with, I don't know, Bugs Bunny in this whole situation, you'd have to find somebody he cares about enough to go get the Hindenburg Cola 4, but you could...
Elmer Fudd or Daffy Duck.
Yeah, something like that. It would have to be something like that, but the rest of it, him trying to obtain the Hindenburg Cola would work. It would work because it's the exact kind of thing, because he has an antagonist. He's trying to get something, the antagonist is getting in his way, hijinks ensue, crazy weird things happen, and then you end up with
the silly little side jokes like, we're gonna have to cut this line, and they literally cut it out like a picture, walk through, paste it back. I hate that they can do that and not feel bad.
Yeah, yeah, there's so much that can be done with that.
He's still practicing. He'll get it eventually. And we see more proof of Wacko's weird eating habits. my sauerkraut was too sour, and the roach died in it. And Wacko's like, so you're not eating it then? Can I have it?
I gotta admit, I thought it was gonna end with Wacko accidentally drinking it. It's like, oh, we finally escaped him. Then he just opens it and drinks it. It's like, oh, wait.
That would have been another funny ending.
Yeah, I think
And
the punchline works as it is.
Yeah.
'Cause...
And then I want some Hindenburg cola. Instant granola? Mom and Pop's Oak Crop hippie shop is down that way. Lindenberg Victrola? Mom and Pop's hippie hop record shop is down the M5. Or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was, yeah, that was another one of those. Let's come up with some funny names rhyming with that, and we'll just spitball them in there, and then we'll try to joke around it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was...
Stop, thief! Technically, they were all thieves because that wasn't his soda either. Nobody paid for it.
Yeah.
That is true. I kind of want some Hindenburg Cola right now. Let me just find it on Google Maps.
He carries a vending machine in his pocket.
Don't you?
I mean, people think I do. How much
But
stuff I
who
carry,
carries change?
Right? I do. I most of the time I just have a bit of cash on me, like a 20 or something, and that way I can't spend money because I don't carry my card with me. You know?
Yeah.
I have a limited amount of money to spend. I spend that and that's it. And apparently Wacko is part flying squirrel and 5% salamander.
Well, their compositions were always a little nebulous.
And he's half human on his mother's side.
I wonder how
which
many
isn't
people
even which that's not even close to, that's been retconned again.
Yeah, but I mean technically that wasn't going to be true even when he said it.
Yeah.
That entire movie needed to be retconned anyways. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was retcon in the movie because I forget it every time I see it. Either that or there's a silence hidden in there somewhere.
I wonder how many people got offended because of Hindenburg.
I wouldn't think anything.
Like you can't make fun.
You can pretty much do whatever you
Hindenburg.
want to Germans. I mean.
Yeah, I have
Wait.
German buddy. We have there are a couple Germans on the facility group Discord chat, and one of them, whenever we play Cards Against Humanity, it's a running gag to have him read all the Nazi cards.
Yeah, it's basically you can do whatever you want. If they're German, no, okay, they deserve it.
I wasn't talking about Germans. I was talking about the Hindenburg airship that exploded.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody, any survivors or family of them are around today.
Oh, I just meant like Gen Z people that are offended by anything now.
I mean, there's a joke about the old the classic iPod that it took so long to sink. They nicknamed it the Titanic.
Yeah, but I'm talking like the generations that's offended by everything now, like Dr. Seuss and all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of silly, but yeah, I don't think.
No,
I don't think Hindenburg is that's like. You're getting towards World War II era, and at that point, it just sort of, I think it's...
As long as you're not making fun of concentration camps and, like, the Holocaust, I don't think anybody cares. And then you could still do it if you're South Park.
Yeah, well, South Park is South Park.
True.
Let's see. Anything else on?
You know, Mythbusters did a episode about what caused the Hindenburg crash, because there was a myth or a theory going around that it was actually caused by the paint they used to coat the balloon instead of the actual hydrogen in it, but they confirmed that it was the hydrogen.
Yeah, I don't know if the skin might not have helped, but
No, I mean, technically the skin was made out of the same ingredients as thermite, but
yeah.
because
Yeah,
of the
that
way
wouldn't
it was
help.
painted, it really didn't it was more of just
Yeah,
adding a little more fuel to the fire when adding a few twigs to a roaring bonfire,
Yeah,
you know?
it didn't
So-
it didn't help, but it wasn't the main cause.
yeah. And here's the thing with thermite. Yes, thermite gets really hot, but
Yeah.
you also need something really hot to light it. You
Yeah.
can't just light it with a match or a spark or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I may or may not have made thermite before. Shush.
No comments. I am not a serial killer, which actually is the name of a movie. A very weird movie that I may or may not have seen. And I may or may not have seen it just because of the title.
Let's see. The Pinky and the Brain one, that was the one with the car, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which why was the repair station in Alaska?
Right, I was wondering that. Like,
Because if I'm building I mean, the land's
Sure.
probably cheap because it's Alaska. There's lots of it, and very few people want it. But anything that's not like mineral rights versions, but
wouldn't they have had a closer location for it?
yeah, if you're gonna
I mean, the shipping cost alone to get it up there would have been cheaper to take it to the neighborhood repair shop.
and even if the cost wasn't a problem, the time. Imagine
Yeah.
having to wait.
Just get a new freaking thing by then.
Yeah, it would take a long time. But which also tells you that Pinky and the Brain went through Canada.
Yep. Without
Yeah.
a passport.
Canada, oh Canada.
And we actually see for the first time, I don't know if even in the original series, that we actually saw security guards going into the lab and realizing what was going on. Because most of the time, they're nowhere to be found because they do it at night. And so the security guard is more worried about external threats.
I made that comment. Like, gasp, there's a human that knows about the brain? It's like, you see, it's just the vacuum. And here you thought it was a genetically modified lab mouse hell bent on global domination. I swear it's real. I would like to see them in future episodes.
Yeah. It's a bit like the one guy who sees through Chicken Boo.
Yeah.
I swear he's a giant chicken.
I was thinking of there's this series I used to watch. It only had like 19 episodes total. called Special Unit 2, and there's this one dude on there who he's this trippy, like, whoa, dude type who keeps getting in the middle of the monster attacks. And it's just like, you guys, now listen, you're just imagining it. It was on the head. No, I swear, the mummy came back to life. And it's like, no. You see, if you say that, they're going to run tests and drug tests, and they're going to have to send you to for psych evals. Like, well, I guess.
And that's just if they don't believe you.
Bad.
I love how Brain has like this tragic backstory, and Pinky's like, oh yeah, mine was no picnic. They made me eat kinds of cheese just to tell the difference. Like,
it was a picnic,
it was literally a picnic.
It's like, I always find that so and so has more. Wait a minute.
Yeah. That's when Brain gets tripped up. It's like, no, Brain, you're holding them all wrong. That's not how you use chopsticks. That's bad luck. It's like, I'm trying to talk to. It's like, you know that vacuum doesn't have feelings, just like my dad.
Oh my Pinky.
God. He opened up to you. He's not like my dad at all.
Pinky, do you need to talk?
Oh my gosh. Are you pondering what I'm pondering, Pinky? I think so, Bright, but banana hammocks aren't just comfortable at all. And he's having an actual banana hammock.
But you'd think they'd also be, banana peels would also be quite smelly after a while, too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, when I think banana...
Like, I kind of want to get, because I already have the hammock that I sleep in, I kind of want to get a yellow one and just like paint little brown spots on there, and the ends make like ends paint brown for like the top of it and make a banana hammock.
See, here's the thing.
I can see the appeal.
When I when I think banana hammock, I do not think.
No, that's the point. That's what most people. That's what most people think, but
that swimwear should never exist.
It's one of those classic Animaniacs things where they make an adult pun that the kids won't understand, but the adults are gonna go like, "Oh."
Well, it's like
fingerprints. Why do I have a feeling that somebody already drew Pinky in a banana hammock?
Oh, God. Okay, write it down. I will do that later.
Oh, fuck.
You know, there are actual banana hammocks that are designed to make it look like an actual banana.
Again, should not exist.
No, it shouldn't. There are also some that, for some reason, make it look like an elephant trunk. It's like, what's the point of that? You misspelled.
Yeah, I know. I'm lazy right now. Shush.
Kyle's gonna read that and be like, what the fuck are you guys talking about this week? Should have joined us, Kyle. Should have joined us.
Does he actually read through our chat?
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of people who are in here but aren't in here.
No, it shows like read receipts at the end of the things, at least on my phone. And like it showed that Kyle has been reading it. So like the last thing he read was your comment about the narrator is Scratch and Sniff. Both Kyle and Madrox's roommate read it.
So, if I was Brain, stuck in that car that was just going, I would have just like crawled through on the air vents to the engine and like disconnect the battery or something.
Problem with that is Brain is small, but he's not that small.
His big
Pinky's
head kind
skinny.
of, yeah. But then
Yeah,
Pinky wouldn't know what to do.
and
True.
And he
Pinky's
would get
got a big,
distracted by something.
yeah. But why couldn't he roll down the window?
Because that's what he did, and that was kind of the plan. He got kind of trapped in his own plan. The whole idea of the car is
Yes,
that you can't escape.
but I'm sure that there's some sort of lock where it can lower it just a little bit or something.
No,
Also,
that was kind of the point, was that they
that
wouldn't be able to do anything.
that whole toilet thing is kind of disgusting if there's no outflow to it.
They'll just put it on the road.
Yes, but if that were the case, he would have been flushed down out of the car.
Oh, that's true.
Because remember, he fell in and got flushed. And then they ended up in that little plastic bag.
Ah.
Which is disgusting. Because then you get like little bags of shit and piss, like just filling up the car, and ew.
Yeah, I could see that it going, it just going out into the road, because I didn't think Brain had thought about humans going down the toilet.
Exactly. But
yeah, it was designed to keep humans in, not rodents.
Which is why he should have been flushed to the road, but that would have ruined the whole joke of him being stuck in there. So, from a script writing perspective, I understand why it didn't, but at the same time, that's what should have happened. And then he would have had to hitchhike back anyways. Yeah. Although they did have to hitchhike back at the end of that one anyways, so it's like quick, it's like a thumb.
But I'm just glad that the car and the Robo cleaner got together.
Would that, if they made little Robo babies, would they be doing the horizontal Roomba?
Oh dear God. You should feel bad.
I don't.
Well, he should.
Yeah, I know. I should feel bad about a lot of things, but I don't. I don't even feel bad when I cut in line, mostly because I usually don't cut in line.
And if we're done with the rodent trip, we get to the fun final song.
I forgot this one.
Yeah,
the Flotus song.
Yeah, that wasn't really. I mean, it had a political context.
Yeah, that's not what I was annoyed with.
What were you annoyed with?
Okay, so you spend like maybe a quarter of the runtime you could have spent talking about the First Lady. I have no problem against having a First Lady song. That works. It's fine. Do it like the president, but do it like the president's song. She spends like a quarter of the time complaining that she doesn't have time. Like if you didn't sit there and complain that you didn't have time, you'd be done. You'd actually get to everybody, and they didn't do it in order. They left I think a couple people out altogether.
They left like one person out. They mentioned it at the end.
Yeah, and there's also other things that don't quite work, because I'm looking at the Wikipedia right now. Like there are actual more factual errors in the photo song than just the omission of Bay Truman, such as how, due to passing away prior to their husbands taking oath, Martha Jefferson, Rachel Jackson, Hannah Buren, and Ellen Arthur were never first ladies. Other mistakes that were made include how Don Tyler and Woodrow Wilson each had 2 wives during their times in office, with Wilson's first one, Ellen, being left out. Grover Cleveland are two separate terms, and how James Buchanan was never married while president. But if they had gone in order, like, and my major problems with, like, even if they wanted to do the little thing with Hillary, that's fine, whatever. But like, you could have just gone in order and not wasted time talking about how you didn't have enough time, and you'd be less likely to miss things, and maybe you could have actually had some interesting information about some of these people that you were like, I'm just going to say the name. It's like, I mean, were these people that uninteresting? Like, did they not have anything you could talk about? I mean, typically more recent FLOTUSes are more interesting generally because women have been able to do more, but been out more socially and are able to do more and stuff like that. But
yeah, although I mean, even historically, they were more interesting than history tends to actually focus
it's just a
on,
matter of
because
being able to find enough
historically
somethings. Find something on everybody that's unique and special to them.
Even take like a second to just list something about them instead of just chanting their name as quickly as possible.
And it's not, and we also know more. Also, we know more about more recent FLOTUSes. But
although I do think the animation part was kind of cute, how she's like struggling with it, but at the same time, I do agree that it lost some of its substance because she was being so rushed about it.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that the Pinky and the Brain one could have been cut back a little bit.
Yeah.
To make a little more room for that. To cover more, to make it a little more coherent.
Yeah, and make it more like the original President's song.
Yeah.
That works.
Or
like, it's not, it doesn't tell you absolutely everything about that president.
Even like the state capitals song where you just list the things and list the presidents and their wives or something like that, to at least get them all in, and like you said, get them in order if you can.
Yeah. And I'm sure you can find something interesting.
Although as far as like lyrically speaking, where you can, if it doesn't fit rhyming wise, but at least get them all in there and get them like, so that it's not just all over the place. And honestly, the song itself wasn't that memorable.
Yeah. Well, it feels like somebody really wanted to do something about the FLOTUSes, but was
more eager to do it than they were to actually get it done.
Yeah, and like they got up to the deadline and they were only like, they'd only gotten a few things done. So like, names, a few things, and there, and we'll just complain we don't have enough time. It's like,
yeah,
you had time for when you had the president's song. Why couldn't you have time for when you FLOTUS song? I mean, there are plenty of interesting things. I mean, it's easier to find information about recent FLOTUSes, but you could find something.
At least just like, put them all in there and put them in some semblance of order.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for goodness sake, Melania Trump speaks like 5 languages, I think, or something. That would be an interesting thing you could throw in there. Like, just put some effort in. If you're gonna do this, put a little effort into it. This seems really half-baked.
Yeah.
And lazy. Like, yeah, sure. I'm again, I'm all for this being a thing. I am total. It's historical. It's educational. You can do lots of cool things with it. You can do all sorts of interesting things. But
And like you said, make a comment about how they had, multiple wives there. Like,
there's some things that don't, like you could have,
make some sort of comment, like with the ones that had two, or at least one of them been like, so and so had this wife. Wait, no, then he had this wife, or something like that,
Yeah.
But their names, I'm not all that good with American history, so.
But yeah, you could. Yeah, it just, the concept isn't a bad idea. It's just really poorly executed, I think. It's a very cool idea if you have the research, if you have the effort to do the research and not waste time talking about how you don't have time. If you just cut that out, you would have had so much more time.
It reminds me of back when I was in school, we would have to do a book report every week, and I would do like 10 of them, and they would be, because they could be for any kind of media, right? But you have to like do a really full report and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like I did one for the first Ninja Turtles movie, and I spent like an entire page on like one scene, and then I just had to rush through the rest. And it's like, maybe I could have spent a little less time focusing on that scene, but
The scene was important. The scene was important.
It was the scene with you're a claustrophobic. Oh wait, no, that was the second Ninja Turtle movie, wasn't it? No, that was the first. But the scene where they were where Casey where Casey has to go into the sewer, and he's claustrophobic, so he doesn't want to be down in the sewer. And so Donnie's like, "You're a claustrophobic. You want a fist in the mouth? I've never seen another guy like that." And honestly, I focused on that scene way too much because back then, I had this friend, Jeff, who I would, chat with on the phone, and it became a running gag because we had like a group call, three-way call with him and another friend of ours. And every time we called, we would go through that thing. And the first few times, he was just so confused because I'm quoting the thing and he's just reacting to the words I'm saying, not realizing that I was quoting. And so it just became a running gag where he would react to it. But yeah, that's like, maybe focus a little less on the minutia and focus a little more on more overview details,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is it.
Yeah, that was the end of the
greatest season ever.
Mixed. I guess this is a good time to talk a little bit, not too long, about the thing, like as a whole. It's like it goes it goes up and down. It has some really fun bits, but it but it gets in its own way sometimes, trying to be too
It tries to be too edgy.
too politically up to the minute.
Yeah, but the problem is it's 2 years behind the times. So it just kills it.
Yeah, especially when some of those things don't turn out to be true, or they don't, they're no longer, they don't really, they don't really work. It just, it makes them, they're running behind. If you want to hit that sort of thing, like when it comes to entertainment, they're really good at sticking to mostly general trends, like how everything's a reboot. Like, that was a whole song. That's a good sort of commentary. But when they try and get too political, they tend to try and be put too fine a point on it. And so, you know, for the most part, they try to put too fine a point on it instead of sort of taking a large sort of, taking a pillow to the whole sort of system as a whole. They start trying to fence with it, but they're 2 years behind, so their fencing looks really weird. They're fencing air instead of going after a more, big pillow to slap people with.
Yeah.
Because then if you kind of separate it out and stick to things where you can talk about larger social issues that are sort of carrying on over years, or something that's, it doesn't require you to be, like if the Animaniacs made fun of, say, Bill Clinton's McDonald's habit like SNL did, okay, that's not very political. That's just sort of a funny thing. It doesn't say up or down, it's just sort of a thing about him. If they wanted to make fun of that, they could, but like trying to get too fine a point, like talking on policy, I think they really step in it when they try and do that. So just sort of, instead of trying to zoom in and pinpoint this thing, just take a broad strokes approach, and I think your comedy would be funnier, and the lead time on this, the lag on it, won't be quite so horrendous. But there are some really good stuff too. Like, there were some fine Pinky and the Brain episodes. I think Pinky and the Brain, mostly, there were a few episodes where it got a little too political and missed the point, but
or it just didn't land well because it was kind of too cliche or too flat.
But we did have quite a few good Pinky and Brains, but they also had.
Was just awesome.
Yeah, for the most part, those worked. There were some ones that didn't quite work, but mostly they worked. Animaniacs, when they weren't trying to get all political, and if you're gonna make a political joke, it needs to be sort of a wink and a nod at the adults in the audience, not just hitting you over the head with a sledgehammer with it. If you're gonna do it, be subtle and quick about it, because you step in it when you try and fence politically. So, like the whole Buns episode, that was, it's like, this is our gun control argument. This is our gun control argument. It's like, no, this is, if you're, the way Animaniacs has always worked is just a little bit of something on the side, not just
that episode. I totally missed the boat on it being about guns because I hate rabbits so much. I'm like, yes, kill all the bunnies. Hey, why aren't the dingoes eating them? Dingoes should be eating the bunnies. Don't just take them back. Take them back to cook them.
That's what they're doing. Yum, yum, yum.
Yay! Eat the bunnies.
Fun headcanon, I suppose. If
Yes.
you don't like bunnies.
Nah, Doc likes bunnies just in stew.
Not really. I mean, I've never actually had it, but I hear it's a sweet meat, although I hear it also can be a not so sweet meat, but still,
it'd probably be pretty lean. You'd have to throw in something fatty with it to make it work.
Hey, you have not seen how fat those rabbits are around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Those little fuckers are like gorging on our gardens.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah. I suppose wild ones maybe
Yeah.
are a little more lean. So with more lean rabbits, that would be a thing. But yeah, I mean,
Fat.
you'd probably need to put some sort of fat in there with them, some beef fat or something. Yeah.
Stupid rabbits eating all our shit. Seriously, in the spring and summertime, and even in the fall, they're like everywhere. You see more rabbits than you see skunks.
It's almost like they breed like. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they do. We need more stray cats in our neighborhood. We don't have any. My cousin used to have stray cats in her neighborhood, in their neighborhood. I was very tempted to like collect some of those stray cats and bring them around here just to eat all the bunnies. They didn't have a bunny problem. They had a stray cat problem.
Go, my army of kitties.
Meanwhile, we don't have a bunny or skunk problem. We have
I don't
a squirrel.
mind the skunk. The skunks are my buddies.
Yeah,
As long as you are loud enough, or you make your presence known before you get too close to them, they're fine. They just walk away. Or waddle away, technically, because they walk with a cute little waddle. But
no.
Skunks I never have a problem with, because most of the time, and when I'm going for walks at night, I'm talking to myself and they're like, oh shit, a human. GTFO.
Yeah.
But
fuck this shit, I'm out.
But yeah, squirrels are evil. Cute, but evil.
No, I don't mind squirrels. Bunnies are evil.
You know, it's funny. At my old place, every time I'd wait for the bus in the morning, there would be the squirrel that would just climb down the tree and just crawl up my leg and just sit on my shoulder for some reason. It's like, what do you want? I have no nuts. Then once the bus came, it would just scamper off.
Well, I mean, you said it, not us.
Zip it.
I said nothing. I said nothing.
But honestly, yeah, I had a squirrel that used to follow me to the bus stop too when I went to school. I also had geese that followed me around because I had to walk through the school field to get to the school because it was easier than going the long way around and stuff, because I lived on the opposite side of the, well, not the opposite side, but I lived a few blocks past the opposite side of the field. So I'd walk through the field to get to school. And there was always full of geese. In fact, when we played out there for like PE, you'd have to be careful not to slip on goose poop. But I had geese because I would eat my breakfast on my way to school, and it was usually toast or something, so I'd throw the crumbs out, and they actually would a few times found my window, started knocking at the window when they saw me, because it was the bottom floor, so the windows were high up in the classroom, and they saw me through the thing because I was in the back of the class, and they started knocking on the door with their beaks looking for food. My teacher is like, what is that? And I'm just like, head down, hide my face. It's like, why are there geese clamoring around that window? It's like, I don't know.
Anyway.
They are not Goose Army. They are not my Goose Army.
Yet.
Yet.
I think we were off on the goose and squirrel.
Yes, goose and squirrel.
So I think we've more than I think we've more than exhausted Animaniacs since we're on to
Yeah.
Busan School.
Yes. Yes.
So if we have no more to talk about the Animaniacs, I think we should stop it there.
Mwah, yes, mwah, mwah.
Okay.